Welcome to another episode of The Product Life. This is your host, Apur Sibal from BestViewsReviews, where we give you the unbiased opinion for thousands of categories. Today we have with us Lyn. So thank you so much, Lyn, for joining us. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thank you for having me, Apur. My name is Lyn Fioravanti, and I am a registered dietitian, and I've been in the nutrition world for 30 years.
Wow.
And I recently left that world to start another project, and that is making our delicious Italian biscotti and pizzelle.
Got it.
So I am based in Western Massachusetts in Ludlow, and I started this business called Baker's Lane Biscotti in 2018.
Got it. And what made you shift from being a dietitian to starting a biscotti business?
Well, my younger brother and I always used to joke that we should start selling our cookies because everyone that we gifted them to absolutely loved them and couldn't find them anywhere that tasted like ours. So, as I got older, I kept thinking about it, and it's actually a funny story. My church, our church always needs fundraisers and money to keep surviving, and they have a beautiful certified kitchen. And I thought, well, if I'm only going to make a couple types of cookies, I can't really afford to rent a space. So I brought this idea to my pastor, and he loved it. So I bake in this beautiful certified kitchen, and I get to offer these cookies to the country, basically, which is wonderful.
Nice. And I guess you shared earlier that you give 10% of your sales to the church as well. Oh, that's really nice.
That's right. Yes, 10% of all my sales goes back to the church for, it was going to the outreach program, but now that times are getting tougher, it's going to the general budget to continue the missions of the church and to keep the doors open.
Got it. So could you tell our listeners what biscotti is and how do you make them?
Sure. So biscotti is an Italian cookie, and most people, I think, know them as the cookie that you dunk in coffee. People love to do that. And biscotti means twice baked. So I bake it in a roll, and then I bring it out of the oven and I slice it, and then I bake it again. So it looks like this.
Wow, it looks yummy.
Yes. So this is our almond biscotti. And as you can see, it's not, a foot long, and it's not really thick. This is an authentic biscotti. Some of the ones that you buy out, they're very large and they're very hard. They're like rock hard, and people need to dunk them in coffee to actually be able to chew them because they're so hard. These are crisp and delicate and wonderful because we make them with butter. This is my family recipe. I haven't changed the recipe. So it's authentic, it's delicate, and it's delicious. So that's our biscotti. And we have different ones. So that was the almond biscotti. I was hoping you could see the almonds in there. And then we have anise biscotti, like that. And then I have chocolate
what
drizzle.
is?
So the anise, yeah. So anise is like an anise seed or anise extract. So that's the flavor that we grew up with. The Sicilians, my mother's side of the family is from Sicily, and anise is that flavor that we flavored the biscotti and our pizzelles. Pizzelle is like this. It looks like a snowflake. So that's the original flavor. And some people might not like that anise flavor. It's sort of like black licorice, but mine is very subtle. It's not overpowering. And I think that's what turned people off if they buy one in the supermarket or in a store. It's very strong, but the flavor of our cookies is I want to say perfection because it's not overpowering and it's just delicious. And the aroma is wonderful as well. And then we also have the almond chocolate drizzled biscotti. And then something, so the way they're baked, it's baked in a roll. And at the end of the roll are these little pieces when you cut them. So it gets smaller at the end of the loaf. So I actually call these piccoli, small in Italian, and people can get these. I just put as many in the package as I can, and it's like a 2-bite morsel. And people love having that with their coffee or their tea. And this is what the box looks like. So these are our pizzelle. You can see those.
And how many do you have in a box?
And the biscotti. So there's a dozen in each box. And like I said, the little piccoli, I just put as many in the box that can fit.
Got it.
Enjoy
And
those.
what is the shelf life?
Since there's no preservatives, they're all natural. As long as they're in an airtight container, they will stay for 2 to 3 weeks. And you can freeze them. When you take them out of the freezer, they taste as good as if they were first baked.
Got it. And like you mentioned that people have biscotti with coffee, like, and do they have pizzelle with coffee as well?
Oh, definitely. Yes. And some people actually like them as after dinner. If they don't, excuse me, like coffee, they have it with a after dinner drink, like a sweet wine or a dessert wine. And they have their biscotti and their pizzelle with that too.
Got it. And do you dip the pizzelle in coffee as well? Isn't the snowflake round shape a challenge?
You could just break it.
Oh, yes. Got it. That
Yes.
makes-
And with the pizzelle, you can actually, you can sprinkle powdered sugar on it. I do make them in the shape of a cannoli shell. So you can fill it with cannoli cream. You could
An
also serve
interesting
it with
shape.
ice cream.
It's interesting.
There's lots of ways you can enjoy them.
Got it. And so you sell them locally and on your website, is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, I have a local delivery, and my local following. I sell at farmers markets and craft fairs. This time of year is wonderful for holiday festivals and fairs, and I do sell them there as well. And I do have a website, bakerslaneBiscotti.com, and they can be shipped anywhere in the country.
Wow, that's good to know. So you mentioned that your products are perfection, but like, did you actually compare other products when you were actually making it, or you wanted to just share your family recipe with people? So what was the idea behind?
Both, actually. You know, I have tried some others. When I was doing my research for starting the company, I did order some, both from online websites and out in the community at Italian bakeries even. And I just found that they were too, the flavor, if it was an anise flavor, it was too overpowering. And the texture wasn't right. And I think when cookies are mass produced, it definitely makes for a different product. The texture was not what we're used to. The taste wasn't what we're used to as well. And, you know, when I first thought about doing this, I wondered what my family would think. You know, I'm taking the family recipe and sharing it with everybody, not giving the recipe away, but sharing the outcome. And, you know, I got such wonderful, thoughtful responses from my aunts and my uncles and my parents. So it was just wonderful that, you know, I'm very proud to be Italian American, and we can offer this, and I'm lucky to have grown up with this, and I just love sharing it. And when sometimes people come up to me when I'm selling at a farmer's market and they say, oh, I don't like biscotti, and then they taste mine and they're like, wow, I didn't know it was supposed to taste like this. So it's definitely a joy that I can share my family's recipe with people.
That's really nice. Well, thank you so much for coming on our podcast. It was great knowing about Baker's Lane.
Thank you so much for having me. And if anyone watches and they want to have a discount code, it's BLB15. You can enter that on the website and get 15% off your order.
Yay!
Yay!
Bye.